All right. So, any questions before we start? I mean, you want to know more about Appian, what Appian is, how it works, and everything? Any questions laid out there?
No, Ravi, you can continue.
Okay. All right. So let me show you that we have seen that how the Appian application look like. That's a shoot. Now we'll talk about few of the shoots that are available for the Appian. Okay. Um. So as you can see that whenever you log in, not sure if you have already logged into your Appian community, right? If you don't, do you guys want me to give you the Appian community? Right. This is the URL where you have to go and log in. Once you sign up here and try to sign up with your professional email address. If not, then you can use your personal email as well. You will get your free access environment. So once you log in, let me know. Then we can configure your free access environment. Right. So the free environment that we see, right, that provided by the Appian, there are certain limitation here, but yeah, that is sufficient enough to create an application. Okay. So when you get the your URL, right, your basic I mean not the basic but your free space to practice, still here your URL will be same. Okay, might be if you are in US, you might use the US instance. So then here you will see the US and all. But Appian has different shoots. So one of the shoot is called design. This design shoot is for development, where you can go and do the development. Okay, so whenever you see the design shoot, you can do the development. Appian also gives you a navigation icon here. You can see this the 9 small squares. These are nothing but a navigation icon where you can switch, which navigation you want to go. Now, let's say if you want to open any sites, you can see all the sites here and all those other things regarding Appian and all. Maybe you can say here, right? Now, there are few things that has hidden now. If you see, if I remove this design and say tempo, so tempo was the very initial interface when the site wasn't there. So everyone was using tempo page for to work on any application in Appian. Okay. So this tempo page has 5 sub tabs, which is called news, task, record, reports, and action. So initially this was the page where the end user used to log in and then they used to do their work. We'll talk about all these steps now. So news tab is basically, if you want to have any news to be given as a news feed. If you want to publish any news feed, you can see here. Let's say a new job posting for customer has been created with ID 21. If you want to post certain things in your news feed, you can do that. It was uh, initially it was getting used, but now when the email notification and everything is there, they don't configure this now anymore. Now, we'll jump to the action tab. What the action tab is that if your application has any actions, let's say if you are working in an application where you say apply the leave, right? So for applying a leave, if you want to trigger a new action, you can come to this action tab and you can take an action from here. So once you've taken an action, it will open an UI to select the date and all those things based on your actions, and then you can submit the task. Once you submit the task, let's say if it wants to generate a task for the managers where they can need to go and approve and reject, right? The managers will log in into the same page and they will come to the task tab. And under the task tab, they will see all the tasks associated with them where they can simply click on that and then they can complete the task. Okay. So this is a task where you need to go and complete your task, right? Now it comes third tab is called record. The record is basically if you have any, let's say you have a customer record in your system, right, where you can see all the customer details. So you can have a customer record here, and in that record you can display all your customer information. You can take action on that record. You can update the data. You can delete the data. You can create a new record. Everything you can do. So you will have to create a record to listed here. And then we have reports. Reports are basically if you want to display your data in graphical representation, like by using charts and all, you can create a report out of it and you can have it. Right now, there's no data in the application, so it's not displaying anything. But yeah, you can create a report for yourself and then you can have graphical representation of your data. Okay. Any question about these tabs? These are the older one which we don't use it anymore, but just to let you know that that this there was something called tempo was there which we using. Few companies are still using it, but yeah, that's a tempo. Any question, guys? Now, why people was not using this? I mean, not happy to use this tempo, because let's say you are having application of 5 applications. So action of all 5 will be listed here. It's you will see the list of the applications name here, but all the application name will be listed here. All the tasks will be listed at the same place. In the task, if you have assigned 10 different tasks from 10 different applications, all will be listed here. You cannot segregate based on the application. So all those things was there in using the tempo. Then Appian come up with the concept of site, where you can create a site based on your applications, right? Like here you can see, right? This is net zero carbon is the one site, order management is another site, community edition home is another site, right? So these are the different sites that we have in your application. Okay. All right. Any question, guys, for this tempo page?
Ravi, now we are not using tempo. Then what we are using here?
Sites.
Okay, sites. It's okay.
Right. Now you can, by using this navigation icon, if you have a development access, if you have a system admin or designer access, you can navigate to the Appian designer. Now, this is the Appian designer, which is useful for you, where we need to go and create a new application. So you can simply see there's an option called new application, which will be used to give your new name of your application and give a description and create application for you. Import and export is used to import an already developed application to one place to other place, but this is hidden in your not hidden, but this is kind of disabled in the practice environment. Okay. On your left hand side, you can see it says applications, where you can see all the list of applications built in your site in your environment. The second is called objects. Objects is like if you want to see all the objects irrespective of the application will be listed here. So if you want to filter, let's say based on, like I want to search from interface, you can filter on the interface and you can search with the name, you can get it. Let's say I want to search for some name here. I want to find something called display. If it is there, it is. So I want to search an interface irrespective of the application, and I given the name as a display. Wherever we can see the display in the name or the description, it will bring up that information. So this is for the objects. Irrespective of the application, we can find the objects here. The third one is called deployment. This deployment will let you know that how many in deployment comes in incoming deployment are in this on, and then how many outgoing deployments are there, like if there are any, then how many of them are here. So these are the deployment that we can track it here. The fourth one is called monitor. Monitor is basically whenever we trigger a process in model, right? Whenever we take a new action, a process instance will get triggered in the behind the scene. So if you want to see the status of that process instance, if something has gone wrong or how it's working and everything, you can come and you can check under the monitor tab. You will be able to find your instance here. And then we have the user, where you can see the list of the users. So these are the 2 different tabs. When you work with your organization and you will be using your company's Appian version, you will be able to see many more options here. Like one of them will be cloud database. The cloud database is is a Maria database that Appian uses for in-house purposes, where you can create the table, update the table, create views, store procedures, functions, all the things you can perform there. But Appian has hidden here, but not an issue. We can create a table by using a record. We cannot see it, but behind the scene, it will be get created. Okay, so that's when you use your Office Appian version, right? You will be able to find it here. Okay, the Appian cloud database. All right. Any question? So you will see one more tab here called Admin Console. That Admin Console tab is for basically for administrator user, where you can see the further details like if what are the SAML authentication you need to perform, what are the DB configuration you want to do the third party, if you want to configure like what kind of document you want to make it upload onto the system, if you want to create or delete a user, you can do perform by using this admin console. All those things are not here, but those are not required to build an application in Appian for a basic application. Okay, so that's why they have not given all those authority. All right, now so that's what about the Appian sites and then suits whatever suit it has. Okay, any questions there, guys? Anyone has any idea what kind of use case we should be building it? Any suggestion? Shall we go with the new account opening process where we can check that if a user has an account with the bank or not? So we can create a application for a bank, and then whenever a customer visit or if the customer is an existing customer, we can create a new account for them. Maybe the loan account or I mean, saving account or current account like that, right? So is that okay? Everyone is fine with that new account opening process? Or if you have any other suggestions?
You can carry on.
Okay. All right. So let's say we are going with the the new account opening process application, right? So how do we do that? First of all, we need to create a new application. So hit the new application and give the name as new account opening, right? So new account opening is now going to be our application name. If you see the prefix, it takes NAO. NAO is nothing but the first letter of the each word we have given. That's a prefix of the application. So what we do the prefix, whenever we create a new object for this application, all those objects will start with NAO. We can put a good description. This application will use to create a new account for customers. Okay, right. And then we can see there's a checkbox called generate groups and folders to secure the organized objects. If you don't check, there are certain few objects, around 7 objects are there in Appian that gets by default created. If you check it, if you don't check it, it won't get created. In that case, you will have to create by yourself. So for your easiness, Appian has given you this feature that you can simply go and create certain few things which is required to build the application. So let's say I am going with the checkbox and then I hit create. Now, when you hit the create and because the checkbox was checked, Appian creates two groups. You see NAO administrators and NAO users. So two groups were get created within the application where the administrator user have the admin access and then NAO users have the viewer access. We'll talk about the groups inside it, but just to give you right, the two groups is being get created. So when you hit the save button, your application has been created. If you go back here, this is the back icon. If you click this one, you will be able to see that new application has been get created, new account opening. Okay. So if you get inside this application now, you will be able to see this option, this plan. Okay. So this is a plan where you can see, if you want to, what kind of application you want to build, they can simply give you some template where you can have some, defined code there. And then we have explore. Explore is basically, if you have built any object that will be listed here, the few things like sites and record types and all those, the important objects of your application will be listed here. we need to go to the option called build. Inside the build, you will be able to see that 7 items has been created, and these items got created because we have checked that checkbox while creating the application. So now, what are those 7 objects? Those are the groups, some folders, and then all the folders basically. So we'll talk about all the folders in depth, like what this folder, purpose of these folders, and then we'll talk about it. Okay? So all those things, if you don't check the checkbox, it won't get created. Then you will have to create it manually, and to create it manually, we need to go to the new option. So under the new option, you can see all the list of the objects that Appian uses to build an applications are available. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about all these objects one by one in depth. But before going there, any question, guys, on how do we create an application and what are things we have? Any questions? No? All right.
Administrator and another one is user, right?
Viewer. The group name was a user. The role that we have given to is a viewer. So we'll talk about the roles, what we can do. Okay, let's do that. So admin is the super user which can create an create an object, delete an object, modify an object, delete the application, right? All those things that an admin can do will be given to the administrator users group. The viewer user can only take action on the data. They can trigger a new action, they can save the data, they can basically, viewer will be the end users who will be using your application. So we cannot give them as an admin access, right? So that's the reason we need to create a group according to the roles we will have to assign to all users. So all the users who is going to be part of your application, who is going to use your application, will be part of an AO users group. Only few members like your product owner or maybe the super admin users will be part of your administrator users. Okay. Now, if you have any support users, right, who need to provide the support, they need to be part of the administrator group because they need to work on your objects. They need to work on your, modify the objects for fixing and all, right. So they need to be part of the administrator. Clear?
Okay. 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 Okay.
All right. Now let's start with the objects that we have. The first object that Appian gives you is called record type. And this record type is the backbone of Appian. Now Appian is growing in a way that Appian says that, hey, you know what? Start using record for everything. There are a few more objects that is hidden here. It's not available because Appian is now convincing people to not to use those objects because those were slowing the applications, and it was the older approach. So let me talk about those objects because in your organization you will be able to see those objects, and then if you are going to work on your existing applications, those objects will definitely be there. So what we will do first of all to make you know what those objects are and how it works. For that, we have some previous videos where we talk about that objects like data type, data store, right? These are the two objects which was used initially. So we have some previous videos which we can share with you guys, and you will be able to understand what they are and how they work. So first of all, the first one object is called data type. So data type is basically, okay, can anyone tell me what are the primitive data types? Anyone? What are the primitive data types? A type like Boolean, integer, float, decimal, date, text. These are called primitive data types. Okay. When you combine all these to create a structure, let's say for employee, let's say I'm going to create a data type for employee where we can have first name, middle name, last name, date of birth, is active, date of joining, all those things fields. So to combine together to create a class, right? We will use different primitive data types to collect one whole information that we in Appian is called data type. Purely it's called custom data type CDT. Now, which is not available now because Appian has recommended that start using the record type for that, not the CDT, because that's a slower process as compared to the record. But anyways, we will share some older videos with you guys so that you can go and you can see how the CDT works, right? And then to make a connection between this CDT, the custom data type, along with your database table, we need something called data store. That data store is used to connect the CDT and the table so that we can link it. And if you want to fetch the information or if you want to write the information, we can make use of this CDT to build one entity into the data store so that read and write option can be done. So that was a some tidy process. That's why I can say that, you know what, it's a slow process. Let's move to the record for everything, and we can do it the same thing by using the record. We don't have to use the CDT and then data type. Okay, so don't worry. We have some older videos which we can share with you all, and you can have an idea how it works and uh, what's the purpose of it. All right. Now let's talk about the record type. As I said, record type is a backbone of Appian. Now we can build an application just using the record type, and it's very quick. You do not have to even create a process model. You do not have to create interface. You do not have to create any supporting rules. If you just instruct this record type to do it for you, and it will build everything for you very quickly, and within a seconds you will have your applications ready for you. Some basic applications we doesn't need some more business logic, right? Like let's say adding the customer details, adding a new customer, updating the customer, deleting a customer, all those things you can perform by using this record very quickly. In minutes you will have the whole application for customer uh, support. Okay, what else a record type can help you? Record type also help you to connect with different record types. Now let's say you have 5 different records which are interlinked based on certain fields. So earlier concept was to create a view in the table and then use that view to connect with the record, which was kind of a lengthy process and also the very costly process because the view takes a lot of time to evaluate and give you the data, right? And then again back take another time for getting the connection done with the record. But now by using a record, you can connect 5 different records in a one record by using this relationship feature, which is 10 times faster by as compared to using the view. So that's the Appian record for you. It's a backbone and it's a very important feature for Appian development. Any question for record type? No? All right. So let's move to the second object called process model. As we discussed the other day, right? The process model is used to define the workflow of your data. You know, if you, let's say on the interface you have taken an action called submit. So if you submit, I need to take a path and save the data to the database. If you click on cancel, I should be skipping the saving process and then take some other path and then end the flow without saving anything. So to take a decision, and let's say if you want on your process, if you want to send an email notification to the customer, so we can define everything in our process model, what process it has to follow and what are things it has to perform in the life cycle of your application process. So for that, we will be using process model. Inside the process model, we have different smart services like send email smart service, save, write to record smart service, generate document smart service. All those things we have the smart services which will be used to build an application for your purpose. And then we have process report. Process report is basically if you want to bring some internal data, like what are the process are running behind the scene. Do we have any active tasks for these processes? Do we have any active data available in these processes? Do we have any running process available for this particular model? So in such time types of data if you want to pull, we need to build a process report. Robotic task and robot pool, we will not be touching it because this is a topic of RPA, and RPA is not a part of this training session. That's a separate training session which takes another month to complete. Then we will be building interface. Interface, as you know, the interface is the UI part where we will be designing the UI for the end users so that they can take an action by looking the application. Maybe we will be designing a forms to capture the data from the customers and all. So all those things which needs a representation of the UI will use interface object. Reports. Report is used to display the graphical representation of your data. Again, we will be using interface within it, but we can build an interface and then we can configure in the report so that we can see the data in the report tab of Tempo. And then we have site. Site is basically individually for your one application where we can have all those things, your record, reports, actions, that the things that we can perform by using Tempo, we can do it in the site, and then we can build an application for that. And then we have portals. Portal was recently introduced to the Appian. Okay, this is a question. If you want to track your Indian Post parcel, right? What do you do? Or maybe if you want to track any of your parcels, what do you do? Am I audible, guys? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. So if you want to track a parcel in your Indian Post Services, what do you do?
By using tracking, if they given the link.
Right. So do you need an account in your Indian Postal Service for that?
No, we don't need anything.
You don't need it, right? Same way, if you want to use any services of Appian, like if you want to, let's say, give some rating, if you want to, ask some questions, right? So you don't need an account for that, right? So Appian was very limited, and it only user who has the account was able to access it. But now let's say if you want to ask some questions to a company, if you want to do some rating of your services, right? So Appian has come up with the concept of called portals where you can design a UI just like a site where you can give very limited access to the users where they can go and do something things. And for that, they don't need a credential. It required to build a portal. Then we have expression rules. Expression rules are kind of supporting rules which is used to hold some extra coding of your, and then segregate your code for certain type of jobs. It's kind of a function. Also it can be used as a function where you can insert some data and then get output of it. Let's say if you want to create a query for your database. Let's say I want to query the database on the first name or maybe date of birth, right? So I can pass this date of birth to this rule, and this should make a query from the database and return the result. So we can create expression rule for such things. Again, AI skills, we will not be touching the AI skills because this is again the artificial intelligence. It takes a separate topic to cover. Now we have decisions. Okay, now let's say if I ask you to write a code where your input is, if your input is equal to A, you should display apple. If the input is equal to B, you should display ball. If the input is equal to C, you should display cat. Likewise, you need to go to the Z. How do you do this? What code you will write?
By using if-else conditions.
You will use if-else condition. Then you think how much line of code it might go?
We go so long, from
right?
A to Z.
Right, A to Z. It will be very long, right? Not that in 26 letter, if it goes very long, imagine of hundreds, maybe imagine of thousands of records if you want to match. right? So what Appian has come up with called decision. So in the decision, Appian has given you a chart like an Excel sheet where just you have to define A, B, C, D all till Z, and in the respective column you can define apple, ball, cat, whatever you want to replace. So if you pass A to this decision rule, it will return to apple. So we will not have to write if else condition for such long thing. You just have to define in one column the input, the other respective column as an output, and if you pass input to this, you will get the respective output, right? So we can design our code by using this decision table to efficiently our work out things. Okay. Now we have constant. Constant is, as the name says, it's a constant, right? Now let's say we have designed our application as called new account opening, and we have 10 different interfaces where we are displaying new account opening, all the places, right? Business says, hey, it looks incomplete. I want the name called new account opening process. Then what you will have to do? Right now it is displaying new account opening in 10 different interfaces, and now business is asking to change it to new account opening process. What you will have to do? You will have to update all the 10 interfaces, right? Because it's using new account opening. Now, instead of giving the direct text into the all the 10 interfaces, let's say I created one text constant, and in that constant I have used new account opening and used that constant all by 10 different places. Now if the business says that we need to be changed to a new account opening process, now I will change my constant, and just I will change one object as my constant, all the 10 as referring to the same constant, all the 10 places it will start displaying new account opening process without making changes all the places. So that is the constant for you. In Appian, we have certain functions where we need to pass a proper type of input. So for that, we need a constant, because a constant can be created as a type of text, integer, uh, boolean, folder, document, process model, anything. It could create a constant for anything. And the translation set is a part of AI skills. The translation set, which we will not be touching it. And then we have very important called connected system integration and APIs. If you want to get a connection with a third party, either you want to retrieve the data, if you want to expose your Appian data, we will be required to create the connected system API and integration to achieve that, right? So these objects are used to connect with a third party and get your work done. And then we have documents. So in your application, you might be able to upload any document if you want to create any document, right? So we will be using this document object. And then we have group. So you have seen that already we have created two groups. The system has created two groups, administrator and users. These are the groups where you can see inside this we can use we can add different members according to their roles. Then we have a group type. Group type is nothing but it's just the defining a custom group type. By default, it will be custom group type, and then you can also define based on your application. So that's group type. And then we have feed. So feed, if you remember, right, on the tempo page, we have seen the feed on the first tab. If you want to publish any feed to the application, you can use the feed. And then we have folder. Now folder is very important. We have four kinds of folder. First is the rule folder. Rule folder is used to capture all your interface, expression rule, constant, everything that you create will be part of your rule folder. And then we have process model folder. So for process models, Appian has given a separate folder. So if you see here, right, in the color of navy blue, dark navy blue, these are the process model folder. If you see the purple, is the rule folders. And then we have document. Document folder is to capture the documents. If you see the green colors, those are the document folders. And then we have a knowledge center. Knowledge center is kind of a parent of all the document folders. If you want to create any document folder, that will be part of your knowledge center. So in your knowledge center, we can create n number of document folders, which will be part of it, and then you can save the data there. So these are the objects that we have, and we will be building to create our application for your fund process. Any questions, guys? All right. So I have given the link, right, for this community edition. I mean, to sign up on the Appian community. Please do sign up to the Appian community, and you know, get your practice environment so that we can start. So you can also practice along with me when whatever the objects we will be creating in the training. You can do the same thing in your at home, and then practice it. So let's wrap up for today. We'll talk about we already talk about all the objects that we are going to create in our Appian. For our application, we have seen that how do we create an application and what are the 7 objects created by default. What is the prefix, the descriptions of the application, we've seen that, and what are the objects we have seen that. Any questions before we close the call? No? All right. So please, guys, please do enroll. So we can start Monday onwards. We'll start building our first interface and then record, and we'll see how to add a customer details and all those things. We will start straight away on the Monday onwards. So please enroll so that you will get added to the WhatsApp group where you can ask your questions, doubts, and whatever or any other information that needs to be communicated will be there in the WhatsApp group, and you will also be given access to the videos where you can whatever we are recording, you will have an access of it. So if you want, you can refer that and then cover your left topics. So yes, please do enroll, and then let me know if you guys have any questions. We'll be available.
What are the certifications which we need to complete for this?
Certification for the training?
Yeah.
No, I
For
mean
the
you. Go ahead.
not for the training, I'm asking about the Appian.
See, there are 3 certifications: level 1, 2, and 3. Based on this
Okay.
training, you will be able to complete level 1, and for your job, if you want to switch, it's okay to have it level 1 and level 2 certification. If you don't have it, that's fine, but if you have a certification, it will be give priority to you, right? So you guys can get job easily. So for getting a level 2, you will have to do some practice. You need to be in practice, right? For level 1 certification, I'll tell you, for the level 1, they don't only ask Appian. It's like 70% they will ask with 50% of the Appian, 20% database, and 30% Agile. So you can learn all those things, Agile methodology, and then what's the database concept and all, right? You will be able to clear this certification very easily. What we can do from our end, we can try to share some questions at the end of the training, which we got from some of the folks who has already completed it. It's a proctored test that Appian does. It's on the video call, so it's very difficult to get the questions. Let's say if you're appearing into the exam and you remember few of the questions, so we write it down and then we share with you guys. Okay. Any other questions?
To complete certification, how many chances we will get, or else it's
So see, the cost is $200 for each certifications. But if your company is a partner of Appian, like Cognizant or Capgemini, then you will get a discount of 50%. If you, that's why I was told that log in with your company's, sign up with your company's email address, and you will get 4 attempts. In after 4 attempts, if you don't clear, it's not like you don't get more options. You can get it. You have to ask. You have to drop an email with the Appian committee and mentioning, hey, I would like to appear one more time. Somehow I am not able to complete it. So they will allow you.
okay. Okay, Ravi, thank you.
Right. Any other questions, guys? All right. So guys, please do enroll. You get in touch with Sarita, the number that you have already, right? So get in touch, and then so that you will get added to the WhatsApp group. Okay, the link for that, I'll just do it again. The community Appian, just sign up here, and then you will be able to access your free environment. Okay. And there's a message from Feta as well. You guys not received it, and just paste it again. Just have a look and then do it. All right. Any other questions, guys, before we wrap up? Okay, I'll take that as a no.
No.
All right, guys, then let's see you on Monday. I hope to see you all there, and then we can start building our application for new account opening process. Thank you so much. See you on Monday. Bye bye.